Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show for the 128 byte old school competition that we have at Lovebyte. I have with me Gasman, a demo scene veteran on the ZX Spectrum, and Freddy, a demo scene veteran on the Atari. So welcome both of them. Let's get right into the questions. What can you tell us about this category and or what makes this category appealing to you? Gasman, you go first this time.
Yeah, okay, so 128 bytes. I think I've got lots of happy memories at outline parties, and it's obviously outline is kind of the most chilled of all demo parties, and just and what and in that atmosphere, just sitting down and party coding something with a beer and think 128 bytes. It's manageable and. You do run into the limits, but that's the point where it's that when you hit the limit, that's okay. You've had that's enough work for today. Now you can sort of get this released and enjoy yourself. So
How well do you need to know the machine to be able to do a 128 byte intro for it? Yeah, I think you really need to know it. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think it's sort of size where you're needing to shave the last few bytes off, and you're kind of scratching your head over that using a certain sort of processor flag a different way, and sort of to sort of swap registers around and just to shave one byte off. So you kind of need to know the sizes of the instructions, and so there's kind of it does help a lot to be familiar with the instruction set.
All right, Freddy, same question for you. What can you tell us about this category? Why is it appealing to you?
Well, similar to Gasman, I discovered it at Outline, and before I did 256 byte intro once, and then I simply thought that half of the size would not be possible because it's really a challenge, and you have to think in a different way, and you have to use all the capabilities of the machine, make use of the custom hardware, and then just have a good idea, and that helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. What can we expect to see, or what do you expect to see on this compo? Freddy.
I think it will be like all the compos. It will be full of surprises. I expect some familiar things like raster bars and things with text mode. Things that we've seen before, but there are always surprising things, because people are really creative when you are limited to such a small size.
Mm-hmm. Gasman?
Yeah, I think that 128 bytes is kind of on the crossover point between where you can really sort of push the boat out with design and where you're constrained by the size limit and have to kind of do more abstract experimental things. The approach I've often took with the things I made for Outline is that I have like one idea. I think one year I thought, well, I'm going to try and make a spinning cube, and I'm probably not going to manage it, but however much I've got towards a spinning cube when I get to the 128 byte limit, that will be my intro. And it ended up being sort of a very sort of noisy thing because I didn't really have enough space to initialize the screen memory. So I think it's
who needs a screen?
It's kind of the end results in those occasions that even surprised me. It was like not what I expected to make, so I can't even begin to guess at what other people will have come up with in that size limit.
Okay, other questions that we had lined up for you. How would the difference between platforms come into play here? Is it just about header size, or does it really matter on what registers you have, what assembly language you have access? Gasman?
I suppose when it comes to the more abstract things, and where you're playing around with the hardware features, then that's where you kind of notice the characteristics of the machines, like with the Spectrum, it's kind of flashing borders and the speaker audio. So I think the character of the machines does sort of shine through, even if things are sort of still at the pretty abstract level.
Freddy, do you agree? What's your
Yeah,
Atari perspective on that?
No, I completely agree. And when you look at existing intros, you really see the colors and the sounds really stand out from each machine. And it's every machine is unique, and that's makes it interesting. Also for the size coding stuff.
Okay. What is the size limit where old school platforms can compete or beat high-end intros? Is it 128 bytes? Is it slightly higher?
To be honest, I don't think we will ever compete with the high-end stuff. It's there are so many obstacles. You don't have the CPU power. You have a really restricted CPU, like less registers. But maybe when you are really creative, you can make use of some custom chips and beat some easy stuff. But I think it's really difficult to beat the high-end stuff.
It's also hard to compare, like technically, because people don't know the old school machines as well or as deeply.
I completely agree. It's a completely different game. So it's comparing apples and oranges.
Okay, Gasman. What about oranges and lemons? Do you think they're comparable?
Well, yeah. So it's when you sort of look at what people like the Helmut and Boat Surfer were doing with sort of the 128 bytes and like raycasters and 3D scenes and it's
what,
like
Spectrum can't do raycasters?
Well, in 128 bytes, challenge accepted. But,
you might see it here at Lovebyte. So challenge sent.
But I can claim that in I think 2018 and 19 I did manage to win the 128 byte intro against the DOS ones, but only through basically accidental meme potential by just the audio. Well, last time it was Baby Shark, so it's I think if that's kind of the only way that they Old School can really compete is on the jokes and meme potential.
Use your memes wisely. What is your favorite or most underrated intro in this category, Gasman?
Well, I think I'd have to dip into the outline again. I think last year at the online one, I think it was a really nice sort of for the Apple II called Seasons by Dieter of Desire, and which is kind of just the fun fractal, but it's kind of changing the color scheme to sort of represent going through the seasons, and I think that's one of these kind of rare cases where you can get so design and composition into 128 bytes. So really impressive there.
Yeah, Freddy, do you have a favorite or underrated?
Well, I do have a favorite or favorites. I still do like the one from Yak, which is called, I have to look it up, Pig XLS, which draws like a fish or pig like animal. And what I like about that intro is what Yak does is he describes what he's made, and is very honest about what he's done, with which tricks he's using, and that makes it more interesting. So if you know a little bit more about the background, that helps a lot.
Okay. That's all the questions we have for this pre-show. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add about this category or the platforms in itself, those cool platforms? Gasman, Freddy? Nope. Nothing.
No, yeah, just really keen to see what people come up with.
Let's see the compo then,
Yeah.
see what entries we have lined up for us. Thank you guys for joining, and hope you enjoyed the compo, everyone.
Well, thank you.